From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? Sorry about that. And we are here. It is time for the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles Live, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper. Doing double duty today. Just got finishing up, horsing around, everything like that. I had to get all the graphics and all this stuff together for the PrimeTime Angles today. Looks like we're having a real good day today when it comes to those tournament bets. We hit that big 215 bet plus 215 money line on Colorado today. They beat number 24 Texas A&M, and they actually beat them by 28 points. They dropped 103 on them today, 103 to 75. And that's what happens in these preseason tournaments, man. You just don't know what's going to happen in these tournaments, dude. So pretty much I had to go with Colorado because Colorado always seems to be a team that plays very well at the beginning of the year. So it was kind of an easy call, but you know what? They had to do the rest of the work, and that's exactly what they did. Also got Virginia Tech home as well, too. Also was able to get Wake Forest to cover as well and Buffalo to cover as well, too. So we are moving pretty good with our tourney bets. We got a little Shawshanked a little bit by Queens College earlier. Queens College absolutely thrashed today. It was I thought our team could cover in that spot, but they didn't. It's all good because Queens College has just proven to us that they're a real one, and it's all good. But let's go ahead and talk about last night real quick. The Packers up in there looking really bad last night. 27-17 lost to the Titans at Lambeau. Are their playoff chances done? I would have to say yes, and I would have to say that I deserve everything I got last night because seriously, we should have been all over the Titans. It should have been a double fist on the Titans last night. They took care of their business last night. I know that they're a rough and tough team as well, too. So I just still had to go ahead and go with the mystique of Aaron Rodgers. I just didn't want to be on the wrong side because Aaron Rodgers has really been able to take your money. But no, last night, odds makers set us up royally. Like I said before, this game should have been a pick'em or a -2 to the Titans. It just didn't make any sense why you have the Packers being the favorite in this game. And it really did make a lot of sense last night when you look at everything. You had a great night from Derrick Henry, who went for 87 yards on 28 attempts. They just churned up the clock. And also, he went 100% on passes last night, including getting himself a touchdown as well, too. So he had 2 touchdowns in a rare form, but it's all good. And then a big night from Robert Woods and from Burks as well, too. So, Ryan Tannehill needed this type of night because a lot of people were kind of doubting Tannehill. Even though he sacked 3 times, he threw for 333 yards and completed 22 out of 27 passes to get a 127 QB rating. Now, you look at Rodgers' numbers. Rodgers was 24 for 39, 227, 2 touchdowns, and he got sacked once. Aaron Jones was very off last night. 12 attempts and only got 40 yards. Then A.J. Dillon only got 13 behind him, so you didn't get a run game behind him. Randall Cobb was back around. He got 6 receptions last night, 73 yards. Lazard got 57 himself, and the guy that's on the cover right now, Watson, got 48. So this was not the effort that they were looking for coming out of that Cowboys game, but I think that we had to go ahead and give them a chance real quick to see if it's real that they were going to do anything in this game, and they wound up not doing that. Now, I'm looking at the way that their schedule is looking on the way out, and I'm going to tell you like this. They don't have a good shot. You know what I mean? They got Philadelphia coming up next. That's a Sunday night football game. I don't think they're going to flex that one out. Then they got Chicago on the 4th. Then they finally get a bye. And then they got 4 games left after that: Rams, Miami, Minnesota, and Detroit. They could play spoiler here on the last few games of the season, but I truly do think that after the bye week, if they're not able to get at least 2 wins out of that deal, then they might as well just start getting themselves prepared for life without Aaron Rodgers. And I would think that you would go ahead and let your first round draft pick finally take over. I still really feel like the Packers did themselves dirty in a sense by holding on to Rodgers. They should have did the same exact thing that the Patriots did when they got rid of Brady. Brady was way more valuable to a team than Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers gave them 1 Super Bowl, but we understand what the Packers are doing. The Packers have to put butts in the seat, and they did not trust their quarterback moving forward once they saw what they had. So pretty much Aaron Rodgers was able to stick around for this season. Now they can move on and probably get some assets as well too. There will be an NFL team dumb enough to give them a few picks if Aaron Rodgers wants to continue his career after this. Possibly could wind up in Las Vegas with his old buddy Devontae Adams, since they're already pretty much giving Derek Carr the door. So with that, that's a wrap on Thursday Night Football. I have more football for you, NFL for you guys Sunday. Make sure you tune in to my Instagram live at 9 a.m. and we'll be talking about all the games of the day, pick sixes, all that good stuff, dog day, pick fours, late tickets, all that good stuff. So you guys make sure to tune in for that. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the CFP real quick. The CFP. Looking real good. Not the CFP necessarily, but the 4 teams that are involved in the CFP right now, 6 teams. But we all know the one game that everybody's looking at, the team that has the most to lose this weekend is TCU. And TCU is just, if TCU can stay strong here in this Baylor game, it won't ensure them getting to the CFP. But I would say this, I would think that you have to start showing the Big 12 a little bit of love, okay? If TCU wins out, do not figure out a way to not have them involved. You know what I mean? Because they deserve to be there. I'm looking at TCU right now, and TCU playing against Baylor is going to be a tough out. But I think the toughest out will be next week against Iowa State. But Baylor is going to bring everything possible for TCU in this spot. TCU, to me, has to be very impressive in this game. They can't really win a close game. They won a close game against Texas. They blew away Texas Tech. They blew away Virginia. These were just late money. But Kansas State had them on the ropes. They had to score 18. They had to score 28 unanswered to go ahead and win that game. They were down 28-10 at one point and were able to come back, win that game, play great defense, all that good stuff. But they had also But the thing about TCU is they have the best looking resume out of everybody, because at one point they had to play against 4 straight ranked teams. Even though Oklahoma and Kansas aren't ranked and aren't really that good anymore, they were ranked at that time. They beat an 18th ranked Oklahoma, dropped 55 on them, got a great win over in Lawrence against a Kansas team that played above expectations this season. Oklahoma State was a big win because Oklahoma State was a top 10 team at the time, ranked number 8, and Kansas State came in there as the number 17 team in the nation. And then they just beat Texas, who was a favorite coming into that game, and they beat them by 18. So I'm telling you right now, TCU is not to be slept on. Ohio State, Georgia, and Michigan all have safe bets in a sense, but they still have to show up for their game. Michigan is on an upset alert situation because they're playing against Illinois. Illinois is coached by Bayline, and so pretty much that's going to be something that's going to be tricky. You know what I mean? So they have to be ready for that. Ohio State's in a spot where they're going against a team that they've really dominated since they got to the Big Ten. But as usual, Ohio State can't sleep because Maryland is a team that can score points. So that's something that you have to look out for. And then Georgia is just going with the motions. Nobody's beating Georgia, okay? Georgia has already solidified their spot in the CFP, even if they lose in the SEC championship. I'll be dead honest with you. It's inevitable that team is gonna be in the CFP. I think they've already clinched, and we can go ahead and pretty much say that whoever wins the Michigan Ohio State game will probably be in there as well too, even if they lose the championship game. But I don't know. That might be talking a little crazy at this moment. But now Alabama is kind of lurking around a little bit. Tennessee's lurking around, but we know USC has a big shot to go ahead and move forward if they can get a big win. But we're going to talk about that in a second when we get into the Battle of LA. So there it goes with the CFP picture for going into week 12. I have a what I would call a primetime super high five featuring five top 25 teams, but their matchups, not me necessarily putting them on the ticket, but I'll explain it to you when we get to that portion of Talking Tickets. All right, so let's move on to our next spot, which is going to be fun. This is going to be UCLA and USC. This one is a rival for the ages. They're finally getting it back together. These two, UCLA, USC. I'm looking forward to this one being a really good game, man. That's all I can say is that UCLA versus USC is going to be a spot where a lot of us are going to be very fortunate to go ahead and be a part of another great UCLA USC game, and it's going to be at the Rose Bowl as well too. I'm over here calling now trying to get tickets, so we'll see if I can possibly get some tickets so I can be in the building as well too, because that game is a game that you really don't want to miss at all. Because when you got USC and UCLA playing good football, it just makes the city come out. And I know a lot of people are going to be excited about this one because these two teams are just absolutely hate each other. And they got all right too, because USC has been a dominant team over this past forever. But at one point in the 90s, me growing up as a kid, this used to be almost a walk in the park situation for UCLA. They had great quarterbacks as well too. My favorite, Cade McNown, who was absolutely awesome. I'm good friends with Jim McElroy as well too, his receiver from that time as well. So the Battle of LA is relevant again. You got USC traveling to Pasadena to play the number 16 UCLA Bruins at the Rose Bowl. So pretty much sorry for the question mark. Did not mean to put a question mark, but this is a relevant rivalry once again. I'm looking at the numbers right now. You got a USC team that has absolutely played nobody when it comes to their wins, but their one loss did come against a ranked team. And a lot of us are looking at that as a way to kind of judge this team. But at the end of the day, USC has the talent. They have the talent to be right there. And USC, since they got a name brand coach, a big name coach, now they're back in the mix for a national look. Okay. And I know a lot of people are very excited about what they see in USC moving forward, but they might not trust them, at this point, in my opinion. I think that when you look at what USC is doing, they've got good wins in their last 3 games, but they barely beat a Cal team that doesn't have that great of an offense, and they smashed up on Colorado. You had that. And then they had a really toughie against Arizona, but Arizona has played better football because you saw what they did to UCLA last week. They were able to get a win at the Rose Bowl, which was critical because UCLA really needed to win that game because they had CFP dreams a little bit as well too. Now, the one team that they did play that was ranked was Utah. Utah beat them by 8 points. So there was some controversy that went on in that game, but still USC is giving up a lot of points. UCLA scores a lot of points. That's where UCLA really does have the advantage at. But UCLA is only 2-2 after starting the season off 6-0. Now, they had a bad loss against Oregon in a prove it to me game, and then they had a very sketchy loss against Arizona, but they had good wins against Stanford and Arizona State in spots that you felt like they could have problems in, but they took care of both of those spots. Now they're back at home. They have only lost 1 game at home, but it's USC coming in, and this game is a 5 p.m. game. I haven't seen a UCLA USC game at 5 p.m. in a long time. So that means that this is going to be a national game. It's going to be a big game that's going to be on Let's see. Let's make sure I know exactly what network, because it doesn't look like it's going to be on ABC. It's going to be on Fox. So it's going to be a big game on Fox, and Fox 11 is going to be all over this thing as well too. So this is another really good game, and I really do feel like this will be the game of the day. And honestly, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I love UCLA in this spot. I think that they're gonna send a resounding message in this game to USC, but USC is the only hope for the Pac-12 getting into the CFP if the dominoes are to fall this weekend. But they still have a big game against their other arch rival Notre Dame coming up next week. So USC, you're on the spot now. It's now you can now you're really proving yourself, and we'll see how it goes for their highly touted head coach Lincoln Riley, and see if he can go ahead and try to get some big wins over two of their biggest rivals. Because I know one thing, he'll be getting some extra money on that. He'll be getting some extra money on that bonus if they are able to beat these two teams. And cough, cough, you already know the envelopes will be out for all the top guys at USC if they're able to get it themselves a nice win here and next week as well too. So we'll see how it goes. All right, so we do have CFB Friday night. CFB Friday night should be fun. We have ourselves some really good games tonight. We got a battle in the AAC, and then we got another battle in the Mountain West. So tonight we have ourselves up first. We have Tulsa and USF. South Florida is coming in here 1-9. You got Tulsa in here 3-7. Tulsa was expecting to have a better season than this, but they're just not having the season that they expected. It's fine because they weren't expected to win anything in this conference either. So pretty much you have two teams that are just going through the motions a bit. Their game does start at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So the East Coast getting themselves some late games tonight. And from what you can see, Tulsa, since they went 2-1 to start the year off, they've lost their last 6 out of 7. So they're pretty much 1-6 since having a winning record. They've played a lot of their games close. They're not getting blown out in these games, but the last two, they absolutely got took to the woodshed in this 3-game losing streak since their last win over Temple. Also, they got absolutely broken up by Navy as well too. So when you look at this monster spread, you tell yourself this team hasn't really beat anybody by a lot of points except for Jacksonville State. So how will they do tonight? They're going against a team that's far worse than they are. And I know that I might be tripping a little bit because I have to understand, you have to understand that these guys got seniors too. And these guys got a lot of pride. And then a lot of their underclassmen are playing better football as well too. So that's something that you have to look at. But South Florida hasn't won a game since the Howard game back on September 10th. They got smoked by BYU to start the season. They had a good game against interstate rival Florida. In that spot, they lost by 3, but that was the last close game that they had this season. The rest of their games have been settled by double digits or more double digits. And I'm telling you right now, they've only been in a game where it was single digits like once, and that was the Cincinnati game because Cincinnati wasn't taking them as seriously as they should. But I think Tulsa is going to look at this as some barbecue chicken, and they should get the feasting on the Bulls tonight. So we'll see how this one goes. We'll see how it shakes out, but that's going to be our first matchup that we have here, and then we move forward to our next game, which is going to be in New Mexico tonight. They're going to be playing over at that beautiful stadium that they have down there in Las Cruces. So we'll see how it goes. Not Albuquerque. It's going to be in Las Cruces. You know what I mean? So, that's where New Mexico is at. So pretty much you have San Diego State coming in here 6-4 going against I got to make sure I got this right. You got them going against the New Mexico Lobos, who are going to be a 2-8. So, they're not playing that well this season, but they weren't expected to play that well this season. That's the thing about New Mexico. New Mexico hasn't been a good team in a long time. They used to be a team that used to be able to bring in all the Cali JUCO guys and kind of do some things. I know that they used to do a lot of recruiting in my area in Pasadena, but I don't think New Mexico has the same type of charm that they used to have, because it was like a last chance university and things like that. This team is only getting 14 points a game, but you know what? San Diego State's not much better, only getting 21.9. And points per game, they're only giving up 26, and while you got San Diego State giving up 21. This game really does look like something that is going to be really good. But I think at the end of the day, you have to expect some things from the Lobos to play hard, because this is, once again, like I said, they're fine. These seniors are going to play better football. They're playing their final home game of their college careers at home tonight. So they're not going to give San Diego State any breaks tonight. San Diego State's coming in here. They got a home game against Air Force next week, and they might be overlooking this New Mexico team because Air Force is a tougher spot for them. But they're coming in here winners of their last 2 in a row. Very impressive wins as well, too, after a bad loss to Fresno State at Fresno. But they had won 2 in a row before that as well. So they've won their last 4 out of 5 after starting the season 2-3. So they're playing much better football than expected. So pretty much they're moving forward, and they need these 2 big wins right here to try to sneak into it looks like they could possibly sneak into that championship game as well, too, but they'll need a lot of help. They'll need Fresno State and San Jose State to beat up each other, and they need these teams to lose as well, too. But San Diego State is still trying to get into the bowls. So, 8 wins will assure them a good bowl game. So we'll see how this one goes, see how it shakes out. But this is not going to be an easy task for San Diego State, and it's tough for me to take San Diego State because they always figure out a way to mess the money up. So that's where we are with that. And pretty much with that, we're going to go ahead and take our first break. And when we get back, we're going to go ahead and jump into some hoops. So we're going to be talking about the BETUS game of the day, but also talking about the Continental Tires main event as well, too, because we got two top 25 matchups coming up in there, ranked on ranked. You know what I mean? We got 2 top 10 teams going against 2 top 25 teams. So you guys make sure to stay tuned, and I'll go ahead and I have that analysis and breakdown for you for that one as well. And then after we get done with that, we'll be talking the Lakers and then talking NBA Friday night and take another break. And then we got talking tickets. So you guys stay tuned. I'll be right back to you. This is the Premier Sports Betting Show, the Primetime Angles, live with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another in Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune in to Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube.
All right, we are back with the Premier Sports Betting Show, the Primetime Angles, live with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. So let's go ahead and jump into our next game, our next spot, and it's going to be a good one as well, too. This is going to be UCLA tonight going against Illinois. This is going to be our CBB BETUS CBB game of the day. This is going to be the nightcap for the Continental Tire main event. You have yourself UCLA coming in here, looking mighty good because they've been over here just annihilating teams, but they're playing their usual schedule of local teams and tune-up games, you know what I mean? Beating up on teams that they're supposed to beat up on, man. They're not supposed to have issues with these teams because UCLA is a well-oiled machine since Mick Cronin has taken over. Mick Cronin is a very good coach. And Mick Cronin is a guy that has really, really established himself in LA. They got a good win over Norfolk. They beat them by 30. They also got a good win over Long Beach State, who's always feisty. They beat them by 24, and then they got a good win over Sacramento State as well too. So all their wins have been by 20 or better. So they have that working for them. They haven't scored as many points as Illinois this season, but it still is a good spot for them. Illinois has played Eastern Illinois. They beat them by 30. Then they beat KC by 38, and then they almost won by 40 last time out against old Metro darling Monmouth. Monmouth, they went crazy a few years ago, even though they still missed the tournament that year. They went crazy a few years ago, and they were beating everybody early in the preseason. But those times have passed. Now I'm looking at the stats coming into the game. You got UCLA. Jalen Clark is stepping it up now. He was a bench player for a while, but now he's here. He's doing well. He's now entered his senior season. So now, it's his junior. I'm sorry about that. But he's went from 6.7 a game to 17.3. That means that he's getting more playing time, and he's relishing with it. Tiger Campbell, who's been a leader on this team for the last 3 years, he's getting 14.3. David Singleton, the outside marksman, is getting 12.7. You got the senior leader, Jaime Yaquez, getting his 12.7, and he's getting the most minutes nightly as well too. But they're probably going to have to kind of limit that a little bit. The guy does get a little hurt, but he's a tough guy. You know what I mean? But he always has some nagging injury somewhere down the road. And then you have Amari Bailey. Now, he's trying to really show that it wasn't just about him playing at Sierra Canyon, and y'all need to stop paying attention to his mama more than him. I'm serious. This boy got a serious game right now, but, he has a lot, and I'm so happy he hasn't been distracted yet, because he has a situation where it's almost like LeBron Iverson, but it's worse because the lady is like, wow. You know what I mean? And you just hope that it won't be all about her once he gets to the top level. But he doesn't care about all that. He's killing. And Bona, who a guy that they're very heavy on, is doing good. Nwaba, who's been a good role player, he's getting a lot of minutes. He's doing pretty good. And then everybody else is just kind of there. But at the end of the day, the UCLA is going 8 deep, and these are 8 really good players. So, I think Johnny Juzang's feeling kind of stupid now that he didn't stay, because he's in the G League. He will be probably first team All-American right now. And man, oh man, they do have to deal with Terrence Shannon Jr. Terrence Shannon Jr. is getting 22.7 a game. He's coming off of a great run over at Texas Tech. He was he was a guy who was one of their one of their glue guys, things like that, for years. Now he's at a place as a senior. He's looking good. They also have Danger, who's doing good as well too, who's coming off of he had a kind of a lightweight stint over at Baylor. It wasn't as good as he felt it was going to be. Now he's moved over to Illinois, another transfer, so that works out for him. And Illinois has been taking advantage of good transfers. They had some good guys coming up from the JUCOs as well too a few years back. And then Coleman Hawkins, a guy that's entering his junior year, he's having a career year right now. He's stepped it up. He's gone from 5.9 to 11.7 points a game. And then you also have Jaden Epps, who's playing some good basketball as well, too, the freshman, who's playing up to his potential as well, 6'2" guard. So, they got some things working for him, but I still think that UCLA just has way too much for this team tonight. I think UCLA should be in good shape to get themselves a nice victory here. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the other game that we have going on. It's going to be Baylor and Virginia. We all know that Virginia plays some very good defense, but we all know that Baylor let's look at Baylor's record in non-conference over the last few seasons. I don't think they've lost a game. And tonight they're on upset alert in this spot tonight. I think that Virginia is going to be a good matchup for them. They're coming off of a good 47-point win over Monmouth as well too. They also got a good tough win over North Carolina Central University. So, this team is coming in here with the record of 2-0 already, and they had a good tune-up game to start the year. Then they had their blowout. Baylor, on the other hand, they played nobody as usual. First 3 games of the season, Mississippi Valley State, they beat them by 54. Then they come back around, played Norfolk, beat them by 17. And then they came back around and played Northern Colorado, beat them by 33. Nothing really to write home about. So I feel like Virginia, who has the better defense, is gonna be much, much, much better in the spot. You know what I mean? I feel like you can take the spread here because it's going to be a close game. And I really, truly do like Virginia tonight. I think Virginia should be a fun play. And I have this set up for you guys. I'll go ahead and tweet out my tickets for that one. It's not going to be a part of Talkin Tickets, but it will be on Twitter as well, too, because I have my tourney bets all in a group. So pretty much that's what the tourney bets are looking like for today. And UCLA money line. And also we're going to take the +4.5 with Virginia in the opener for the Continental Tire main event today. So that's that, and that's that. All right. So pretty much let's go ahead and get into the state of the Lakers. And the Lakers finally got a damn game tonight. Lakers been off 5 days. I said the only team in the NBA that's going to probably have that right is that they're going to have no game. They have no game. You know what I mean? They had no games. So the Lakers are getting luxuries right now in a sense as well, too. So the having LeBron is probably the best thing right now for the Lakers because they're giving them rest because they need LeBron to rest because that's who pretty much is running their league right now. And that's a damn shame, to be honest with you, because the league, I don't think the NBA has ever been this talented. They got so many talented players, so many teams that have talent left and right, and they still focus on a guy that's been in the league for 20 years. That just goes to show you that where we're at in society, that people just can't let things go. You know what I mean? Like you have to like literally die on the court for them. You know what I mean? So pretty much you're looking at the matchup tonight. They got the Pistons coming in here who are struggling mightily. They've won 1 game this month. So they're 1-7 coming in here, 8 games. The Lakers, on the other hand, probably will play the least amount of games this month because that 5 days off was just like, wow, why? The Lakers have won their last game in a row after losing 5 in a row. LeBron's not going to be there tonight, but AD is going to be there tonight, and Westbrook's going to be there tonight as well, too. LeBron still got some great numbers. I love the fact that AD's in double-digit rebounds. AD has made it his calling card to get a lot of rebounds. And I think that if you're a big man on the Lakers or somebody who's trying to really stay on the court, you need to help them out a little bit. So I'm calling out guys like I'm looking at names as I'm talking to you guys because I really don't care for these guys. So I'm not keeping up with their names either. You know what I mean? So pretty much because I just feel like they all need to be fired already. But when you look at the Lakers injured reserve, you got Thomas Bryant, who could be a big help to the Lakers right now. He's not out there. And then you also have Dennis Schroeder, who could be a big help as well, too. Now, I would say this. Damian Jones should take it upon himself to become a better rebounder. So when he gets minutes, he needs to be eating up those boards, in my opinion. So we'll see how it goes. And Troy Brown Jr. is actually playing much better basketball at this point. If they can get something big for him tonight, they should be able to cruise against the Pistons. The Pistons don't really have much. They have Bogdanovich as their lead scorer, but they do have 6 guys scoring in double figures. So that shows you this is a team with no stars, but they do have a lot of potential. They have Bay, Ivy, Cunningham, and then Duren has been really good, but Duren they're treating him just like how they treat all the big men. They're not giving him a lot of minutes. And, he hasn't played in every single game this year either. Well, he's played in 13 games, but still, I like Duren. I think Duren will be much better if they use him a bit more, but I'm looking at his free throw percentage. He's shooting under 40%, so I do understand why they don't have him out there as much as they should. But all in all, I'm looking at this. Both teams are really bad. The Lakers are 3-10. They're 3-12. Doesn't really matter how you guys feel about this one. I really feel like the Lakers are finally in a good spot because they finally get to play a team with the losing record that does not have any playoff hopes. They spent their first 13 games literally playing against teams that are playing at high levels right now, except for the Nets, possibly. Even the Kings loss was kind of like, okay, it's all right, because the Kings have won their last 8 out of 10. You know what I mean? And they're the highest scoring offense in the league. So it happens. The Lakers can finally win 2 in a row for the first time since October and get some confidence, because these are confidence booster games, in my opinion. So we'll see how it goes. The Lakers have had 5 days off. It either can go really well or it can go really bad. But the Lakers know what time it is. They really can't drop a game to the Pistons. They have to step it up, because if they lose to the Pistons tonight, just start expecting nobody to show up to crypto.com center. And really, I would say this, that's what's been jinxing the Lakers, is changing the name to crypto.com. You know, I don't even trust that company to be around in the next 10 years, bro, let alone you let them be a sponsor. But this is the same team that had Wish be a sponsor on their jerseys the first few seasons as well, too. So, you know, you just can't talk too much. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. All right, so let's move forward. It's NBA Friday night as well, too. So, you know, we got 11 games in the association, and there are 11 really fun, good games tonight. And the first one that we talk about is going to be the Heat and the Wizards. The Heat coming into this game 7-8. The Wizards are 8-7. The spread is 1.5 to the Wizards, and the over/under is 217.5. Now the Wizards have played really good basketball this month. They are playing lights out. They started off the season kind of lagging a little bit, but they've won 5 out of 8 games this month, okay? And they had just won 4 in a row before a heartbreaking loss to Oklahoma City on Wednesday night. Now they come back around. They play Miami, a team that's a little shorthanded, but Miami's still seen as the tough team in the Southeast. So I'm looking at the way that they set this up. They beat Dallas, Utah, and Memphis, but this is all during a homestand as well, 6-game homestand. So they are doing well in that accord. Now, they really got it together after losing 42 to the Nets earlier this month. Now, they playing against Miami tonight. They should be right there in the thick of things, but I truly do think, I don't know why you're going to make them such a big favorite tonight. Now, you have another team in Miami coming off of a 3-game winning streak that was snapped on Wednesday night as well. They lost to Toronto by 8, but they were on the road. They were in Toronto that night. They beat Phoenix in a good spot, but they did get Charlotte on back-to-back home games as well, too. So I know that's what people are looking at, but they did beat Golden State and Sacramento earlier this month. The only road game, the 2 road games that they played, they've lost, but they're going against a rival tonight. So I truly do feel that a lot of people are probably going to be very comfortable with the Wizards. And actually, let's go ahead and change this, because the spread is not 1.5. The spread is actually 6.5. Sorry about that. I don't know how that came up as 1.5, but it's a 6.5 point spread. I had to double take, because this is actually my dog of the day, and I have it set up at a big number. So it wouldn't look right if I put this here and put this there, and it's not the right number. So, you know, pretty much there it is. They're 6.5 tonight, Wizards. I know that they're short. I know they're a little short-handed tonight, the Heat, but I don't care. These are the spots where they trick you at, and the Wizards aren't good enough yet for me to trust them in this spot. So I do like the Heat as the NBA dog of the day. So let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. Heat and the Wizards, it seems like it's going to be a very good game. Now we have the Bucks and the 76ers, which will be a featured game tonight. We know this will probably be the ESPN game tonight, and also going to be on NBC Sports as well too out there in Philadelphia. So that should be a lot of fun. You got Philadelphia winning their last 3 out of 5, including 2 in a row. Good win over the Jazz and the Hawks, who've been playing really good basketball as well too. Also got a good win over Phoenix in that mix as well. Then you have the Bucks, who had the best record in the league, but you know they started off the season 9-0, and they've actually dropped their last 3 out of 5. But that's okay. They just beat the Cavs at home, and they beat them by 15 points, and the Cavs were one of the hotter teams in the league right now, so they took care of their business when they needed to. And, it's just the way that it goes. You can get off to a good start, but then you have to deal with the actual repercussions of the season. Now, this team is top 10 once again, best team when it comes to rebounding, and third best team when it comes to blocking shots. So you got the Greek Freak getting damn near 30 a game with a damn near 12 rebounds a game. And then you have Holiday getting almost 20 a game. And Brook Lopez is playing out of his mind as well, too, averaging 16. Bobby Portis is doing well, getting his 13. And Grayson Allen is chipping in double digits as well with 10. So this team is really good, and they play really good team basketball as well. So you have to be on the watch out for how this team rolls. So it should be good. And then they got Carter as well too, Javon Carter, the West Virginia fame. He's doing pretty good as well too. Now Joel Embiid, he's having a crazy year. Joel Embiid is really trying to get that MVP, 32.3 on the season this year and 10.1 on the rebounds. You got Maxey getting his 22.8, and Harden's getting 22 a night as well too. But Harden is still out. Tobias Harris 14.7. But after that, they kind of have a big fall off when it comes to scoring. So they're going to have to get a little bit more. So I do expect this game to be a good one tonight and be a good little game where you'll probably be looking at over-under situation, something of that nature. And then, we can just go from there with this, and, hopefully everything works out the right way here. So, pretty much that's where we're going with this one tonight. And you guys are going to be a little mad at me because this one actually doesn't make the cut tonight, but I did want to talk about it a little bit. I don't know how I messed up on this one making the cut, but it didn't make the cut tonight, y'all. That's all I can say. Actually, yeah, it did make the cut tonight because I actually have Denver, and I have the Nuggets game here instead tonight. So sorry about that. Pretty much just breaking down the game, but I'll throw out a play for you guys on this one as well too, so you guys don't miss out on this one. I think that this is more of a scoreboard watching game, so we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out, and we'll go from there. All right, so we move forward, and we have ourselves a really good spot tonight with this one. This is going to be the Thunder and the Grizzlies. Thunder playing much better basketball than any of us expected this season, and it's just early though. Yeah, I'm just waiting for an injury to happen or them to just start getting beat on. Because this team is not going to the playoffs, but they're playing good basketball. They had lost 4 in a row, then they came back and won 3 out of 4 recently. And the only team that they lost to in this group was Boston, and Boston has the best record in the league. They did get a fluky win against Washington. They go into Memphis tonight to end this 4-game road trip as well, too. Memphis is going to be a tough out for them, and Memphis is coming into this game kind of shaking a little bit. They've dropped their last 3 out of 5, including 2 in a row, so they're looking to bounce back. They did win their last home game as well, too, by 11. So I think they're looking to have themselves a big night here against Oklahoma. We'll see how we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it checks out. I like the scoreboard here, though. So we're going to see what the scoreboard do tonight. So it is what it is, and that's what it's going to be. So pretty much that's where we're going. Over 230 tonight with the Thunder and Grizzlies. I expect some scoring to be going on. So we have our next game coming up, Celtics and Pelicans. Give me 1 second. I'm getting us a graphic for that one right now. But Celtics and Pelicans, it should be another really fun game tonight as well, too. Celtics versus the Pels. We got Tatum looking to go off tonight against Zion and crew. You love the way that the game stacks up in a sense, but all in all, you have a very good spot tonight with Celtics and Pelicans. So, I just totally feel that, when you have a game like this one, it can go either way, but you are dealing with the team in the Peles that are looking to keep the big upsets at home going because that's exactly what they've been doing. But I don't think that this is going to be a big upset at home. I think what's going to happen here is going to be Boston rolling and winning this game by 6 or better, in my opinion. I think Boston is just too much right now for anybody, and they're playing really good team basketball. They're playing pissed off. You know what I mean? They just remember that bad taste in their mouth from the finals. Kind of like the 80s Celtics in a sense. Like, did somebody call Larry Bird? Did somebody call Robert Parrish? Because this team is playing lights out like everybody's the Warriors to them. You know what I mean? And they've won their last 7 games. Well, let me take that back. 8 games in a row after losing by 1. So they easily could be 9-0 this month. So you have a New Orleans team trying to defend their house. And, they have a good spot here. And then they got Chicago coming up on Monday to end this 3-game road trip. And then they get the rest of the month at home: Dallas, Sacramento, Washington, Charlotte, and Miami. So they got 5 games coming up to end the month of November at home after they visit the Bulls. Now you got the Pelicans coming in here playing much better basketball. Mike thought they were playing really good basketball, and they have won their last 3 in a row after starting the month off 2-4. So pretty much they righted that ship, and now they're 5-4 on the month, playing much better basketball, 9-6 as we speak. And it's much better. They got good wins over Memphis and Chicago, and got a good win over Houston as well too. So we're gonna see how this one shapes up as well. And I really do like Boston to go ahead and get a good win tonight. So let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. All right, we move forward, and let's go ahead and talk about the Suns and the Jazz. That's going to be our final spot tonight, Suns and Jazz. And pretty much you got the Suns and the Jazz coming in here, two of the top teams in the West record-wise, but the Jazz are still wondering why they playing so good. That's because guys want to make sure they looking good for the trade deadline. You know what I mean? Because they're still going to be moving people before the All-Star break. Now, they did win 4 games in a row, but they've dropped 3 in a row recently, because they started off the season red hot. They started off the season with a great record of 10-3. Now they've dropped their last 3, got bad losses as well too, losing to Washington, Philadelphia, and New York. So you can see that they're having an issue with these Eastern Conference teams. But, they pretty much, just faltered on that road trip as well. They got a good win to start the road trip, and then they just kind of fell apart after that. Now they got Phoenix, Portland, and the Clippers coming up in their next 3, and 2 of those games are on the road. So they're trying to go ahead and right the ship a little bit tonight against the Suns team that got a good emotional win the other night against their new rival, the Warriors, because they're kind of rivals right now, Warriors and Suns for the moment. So you have a Phoenix team that's been struggling this month, but they're 4-4 on the month, and they just ended a 2-game losing streak as well too. Got a good 11-point win the other night against Golden State, but they have struggled on the road this month as well too, only being dropping their last 3 out of 4. And that was during a 4-game road trip as well too. So they're trying to get it back with a good spot tonight against Utah, but we'll see how it goes. I'm looking at the scoreboard for this one as well too, so the under should be a big player. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out, but that's where we're going with this one as well. So Suns at the Jazz, it should be a lot of fun, and we'll go from there. All right, so that's what we have, and that's where we're going, and that's what we're going to be. So pretty much you guys just hold tight. I'm going to be right back, and we're going to go ahead and jump into Talkin Tickets. All right, so you guys stay tuned. This is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles, live with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper.
Now you and your friends can compete in the sport of kings and win big with Stable Duel. Get the app, pick your horses, and get in on the thrill of horse racing with daily games competing against other players. Bring home the glory and the cash, and move up the annual leaderboard while you leave your competition in the dust. Get in the game with Stable Duel. Play, race, win.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another in Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
All right, we are back with the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles, live with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. So pretty much let's go ahead and jump into the talking tickets. But first, we're going to talk about our game that's going to be today, and that's going to be the BETUS CBB Best Bet of the day, which is going to be UCLA with the minus 165. I love UCLA in this spot today. I can't wait to watch them Bruins. And I think the Bruins are going to send a vital statement today. And I think we've already had a top 10 team get dropped this week. So UCLA should be moving up. If they didn't get dropped yet, they're going to get dropped tomorrow. So you know how college basketball goes. You can be a top 10 team in November and then not even make the tournament in March. So it really, rankings really don't mean anything, but UCLA is a team that has to be top 10. I think that they should be a little further up the ladder a little bit as well too, because they're better than at least 4 of those teams that are ahead of them. So we'll see how this one shapes out, but I do love UCLA today with the minus 165. Be on the lookout for my bets, for my tickets for the Continental Tire main event live from Las Vegas. So you guys got it. There it is. That's the pick of the day. And let's go ahead and jump into our Talkin Tickets segment. You know, Talkin Tickets, brother. That's what we do. And that's what everybody signed up for. That's what everybody's here for. I know you guys like you can spend a whole hour just talking. Now show me them damn tickets. All right, you South Florida, Tulsa. I'm being risky. I'm taking Tulsa to have an absolute crushing of South Florida today for their seniors. So I think that they win this game by 17 or better because, as I said, South Florida hasn't had a close game in a while. So Tulsa has to play them like they are absolute, you know, the elite of the elite. So I feel like they had to go extra hard, but Tulsa may let us down. This is a big spread. This could be a possible upset. So if you like South Florida tonight, don't let me take you away from them, okay? Because I'm kind of sketchy on this one as well too, but I just can't trust South Florida. I've tried to trust South Florida this season. They just keep getting cooked. So let's see how this one goes. Let's see how it shakes out, and we'll move from there. Then we have the under 29.5 first half with with South Florida and Tulsa. We should have a fun night tonight with this one. Let's see how it goes, see how it checks out. I think that's what we need to expect. And I think the first quarter for Tulsa is a safe bet. I think that they do score a touchdown and they don't let a touchdown be scored on them. So we'll see how it goes. UCF, South Florida, and Tulsa. Let's see how it goes. Now we go to San Diego State, New Mexico. I like New Mexico in this game, plus 14.5 to cover. I'm not saying they win, but I just can't trust San Diego State with a spread better than 2.5 because these guys just seem to always play bad against bad teams. All right. Then I like the over 19.5. We only have such a big spread in this spot. It's only 36.5 on the over-under. I think that both teams score a few times in the first half. And then I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm not saying New Mexico wins the game, but I'm going to say that they got the lead in the first quarter. They make them shake a little bit. You know what I mean? Say 7-0 real quick or a quick 3-0 lead, you know. Not saying New Mexico wins, but I'm just trying to go ahead and get us some early money in the first quarter. All right, we move forward. Let's talk about the CFB Rise and Shine pick 6, 97-1 tomorrow. I got 15 plus 15.5 on Navy. Then we're going to do the over 40.5 with Nebraska and Wisconsin. I know weather will play a factor into that game, but I still think Wisconsin's going to figure out a way to score some points. Nebraska will too. I love Duke with the plus 7. They can be a money line play as well, so you don't be shy with Duke tomorrow. And then we got MSU playing tomorrow. They seem to be getting everything together. I think this will be a signature win for them this season. I like them with the 10.5. Florida Vandy just seems like it's going to be a game where everybody's trying to get off the field as soon as possible. So I don't expect a lot of scoring there. I like the under 57.5. And then Virginia Tech going against Liberty. I'm going to have to go with the Power 5 over the Independent. I know Liberty is a team that has great offense, great coach, all that good stuff, but I still think Virginia Tech will figure out a way to get us a monster win tomorrow. I love them with the 2+215. All right, we move forward, and we have the CFB PrimeTime Super High 5 for tomorrow. I got Baylor upsetting TCU with the +115. It's just inevitable. It just seems like it's going to happen. And then we have the over 41.5 with Illinois and Michigan. And then we have the +20.5 with BC going against Notre Dame. And then we also are taking the over 63 in the Ohio State-Maryland game. And then we end off with UCLA with the +105 on the money line to get us that primetime win to go ahead and hopefully seal the deal for this ticket at 30-1. All right, let's get into tonight's bets, and that's going to be for us the CBB PrimeTime PK6. This one is actually going to be 60-1 as well, too. This is a very, very good ticket. I'll go ahead and have those numbers ready for you in a sec. I have the total odds for you when I tweet it out, but this is about a 50-1, 60-1 ticket right here. And I love Arlington tonight at home against Nevada. We also have Oklahoma at home tonight with the -11. Texas Southern is in a fun spot tonight with the +24.5. They are a really good team. They got a good win the other night as well. And then you got Denver U, who's in a spot where it's a real toss them up, and I think that they should be able to beat Idaho State. I love them with the +145. Then you got a two Cali matchups here. Pacific's going against Cal State Fullerton tonight. I like them with the -165 at home. And then you got Stanford going against San Luis Obispo, Cal Poly, and I like them with the 14.5. So that's where we're going with the CBB Primetime Pick6 tonight. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. And then we finish up with the NBA Super High 5 tonight, 41-1. The Heat money line tonight is +210. So let's see if we can get that big dog home. And then we got the over 230 with the Thunder and the Grizzlies tonight. And then we're doing the -2.5 on the Celtics tonight as well. And then we're doing a +9 on the Nuggets. And then we're doing the under 9, 229 Suns and Jazz. So there it is, 41-1. Feeling good, feeling great about these tickets tonight. And I think that we're on to something here, to be honest with you. And I know that we'll be cashing something out for sure. So there it is. There it is. I thank you guys very much for tuning in today. And I look forward to talking to you guys tomorrow. If I don't do horsing around, I'll still get out the horsing around plays for you. But it looks like I will be doing horsing around tomorrow. I got all the forums and everything in place. And we just hit the pick 5 as well, too, for $367. Our single got home. Pleasure wave. So got to feel good about those things. But I thank you guys very much for tuning into the show today. I look forward to talking with you guys tomorrow. And pretty much let's go ahead and keep making this money, man, and keep cashing these tickets. And you guys just keep watching me work. And if you guys are interested in being clients, let me know, because 'tis the season to sign up for PTSI. I'm not taking on a lot of people this year. For 2023, I'm just taking on a very exclusive group, because, you know, everybody wants everybody, but I just want the guys that are very into doing their sports betting and very into the knowledge that I'll be bringing you. Okay. So there it is. There it is. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. You guys are the absolute best. Thanks, nephew, for the compliment as well, too. I see you. Don't act like I didn't see what you just said. I hope it was a great show, and I hope others enjoyed it as well, too. So yeah, we'll be back, and definitely be back on Monday with aftermaths of the NFL, CFB, all that good stuff. So you guys keep tuning in, and this is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles, live with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. As I always say, bet with your head, not with your heart. And the movement is movement, and I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.